World's fastest car. In the stillness of the Nevada desert, silence ruled. The vast, dry basin stretched endlessly under a faded morning sun. The air crisp, still, and whispering tales of a coming storm. Not of clouds or thunder, but of something mechanical, something born not of nature, but of obsession. A convoy cut through the heat haze, rolling slowly onto an empty stretch of road that looked more like a forgotten airstrip than a highway. No traffic.
No bystanders.
No finish line, just open tarmac and time. At the front of the convoy was a beast wrapped in carbon fiber and ambition, a machine unlike any other. Sleek, low, painted like midnight, with curves that bent physics and edges sharp enough to wound. The world had seen fast cars before. It had held its breath as Bugatti broke barriers with the Veyron and the Chiron, marveled as Koenigsegg shattered records with Scandinavian precision, and blinked in disbelief at the audacity of American powerhouses like Hennessey and Shelby. But today, on this remote stretch of closed public highway, a car named Tuatara would attempt to redefine speed itself. The story of the Tuatara didn't begin in Europe or Dubai or the Swiss Alps, but in a modest facility in Richland, Washington. Jerod Shelby, no relation to Carroll Shelby, was a man with a dream stitched into every cell of his being. A former engineer, a racer, and a man who'd grown tired of seeing speed monopolized by a handful of elite brands. He wanted to challenge that, to build a car not just fast but legendary, not just loud but symphonic, not just a machine but a moment in time. 4 years, Shelby Supercars, now SSC North America, had operated under the radar, but they had already made waves with the Ultimate Aero, which briefly held the title of the world's fastest production car back in 2007. It was a statement, but it wasn't the final word. That final word would take shape in the form of a car named after a rare New Zealand reptile, the Tuatara. The creature itself hadn't evolved in over 200 million years, an ancient relic that defied time. For Jerod, it was the perfect metaphor. A machine built not to evolve but to transcend evolution. The SSC Tuatara began as sketches. Then came the clay models, then computer simulations, wind tunnel tests, and carbon moldings. Every single inch was engineered for one goal, aerodynamically pure speed. Not just down a track, but through the very fabric of resistance. Its heart was a twin-turbocharged 5.9-liter V8 engine, hand-built and tuned to near perfection. 1,750 horsepower when running on E85 ethanol fuel. 1,350 horsepower on regular pump gas. Weighing just under 2,750 pounds, the power-to-weight ratio was off the charts. But that wasn't enough. The body was sculpted in a wind tunnel, so smooth it sliced the air with a coefficient of drag as low as 0.279. The exhaust, the cooling system, the tires, each piece was scrutinized, reworked, reimagined. The speedometer didn't measure in fantasy, prepared to record truth. The first run came in October 2020, and the world watched. On a 7-mile stretch of closed highway near Pahrump, Nevada, once used by NASA for testing space shuttles, the Tuatara was ready. The sun beat down, and the desert held its breath. British racer Oliver Webb took the wheel, a man known for calm nerves and razor-sharp focus. As he lowered himself into the cockpit, he was aware. Every single camera was rolling. Every second would be watched, dissected, praised, or torn apart. He pressed the accelerator, and the Tuatara exploded. It wasn't just acceleration. It was launch. 0 to 60 in under 2.5 seconds. The landscape blurred. The speedometer ticked into triple digits, then beyond. 200, 250, 300. Webb stayed calm, hands tight, eyes steady. The roar of the engine mixed with the wind and the road until the three forces became one. On the downwind run, 331 miles per hour. On the return, 279 miles per hour. Average, 304.77 miles per hour. The world gasped. A new world record. News sites lit up like fireworks. The fastest production car in history had just been crowned. The Bugatti Chiron Super Sport 300 Plus had been dethroned. Koenigsegg's Agera RS had been beaten. But then came the whispers. Online forums buzzed with suspicion. YouTubers broke down the footage. Something didn't add up. The GPS data appeared inconsistent. The video footage didn't match telemetry overlays. The world record, which should have brought eternal glory, instead sparked controversy. Jerod Shelby, once hailed a genius, now found himself surrounded by doubt. Accusations flew. Was the speed falsified? Were the measurements legitimate? The official GPS supplier, Tuatara, released a statement. They had not verified the data. And just like that, what had been a triumph became a scandal. But this wasn't the end. Jerod knew what was at stake. His company, his legacy, his dream. He made a promise. They would do it again. And this time, there would be no questions. 2 years passed. The world moved on, but Jerod and his team did not. In private, they rebuilt, rechecked, tuned and refined. They partnered with RaceLogic, Life Racing, and other third-party telemetry companies. Everything would be logged, backed, and witnessed. In January 2021, they returned. This time to the Kennedy Space Center's shuttle landing strip in Florida. A new driver, a new venue, and no room for error. Once again, the Tuatara lined up on the tarmac. Webb wasn't behind the wheel this time. Instead, it was a small team of professional drivers led by Dr. Larry Kaplan, an owner of the car and a man as obsessed with precision as he was with performance. The runs began, and the numbers spoke. A top speed of 286.1 miles per hour. A second run of 279.7 miles per hour. Average, 282.9 miles per hour. Not 300, but real, verified, unquestionable. This time, no internet experts could deny it. The Tuatara had reclaimed the title as the world's fastest production car. With truth, not myth. But speed, like all glory, is temporary. In Sweden, Christian von Koenigsegg was quietly testing the Jesko Absolute. Its name was a declaration. It would be the final word in speed from the Koenigsegg brand. With a theoretical top speed of over 330 miles per hour, it posed a silent threat. In Texas, Hennessey Performance unveiled the Venom F5, a name referencing the most powerful tornado ever recorded. With over 1,800 horsepower, it wasn't a car, it was a supernova. And Bugatti? Rumors swirled about a successor to the Chiron. Something even more alien, more expensive, and more extreme. The race was far from over. But SSC had done something no one expected. They had become a legend not just because they built a fast car, but because they came back when the world doubted them the most. And the Tuatara still roars. A symbol not just of American innovation, but of defiance, of resilience, of a man who refused to be silenced. In the race for speed, it's never just about the machine. It's about the people behind it, the sleepless nights, the calculations, the failures, the grit. It's about stepping into the impossible and hitting the gas